The next question is, what is the difference between earnest money and a non-refundable deposit? So it's kind of cut and dry, honestly. Non-refundable deposit is exactly that. It's non-refundable. So once you write that check, you will write a non-refundable deposit check directly to the sellers. As soon as they have that in their hands, they can cash it. You're not getting it back. The only reason you might be able to get it back is if the sellers on their own change their mind and decide to not sell you the house. Has to be completely at their fault though. So it can't be, well, we didn't close on time and so now the seller wants to sell it to somebody else. Well, that's a mutual fault, right? Because you didn't close on time. If it's just, maybe the seller was selling the home because they're moving, now the job has changed, right? So now they're not going to have to move, and so now they don't sell the house. In a situation like that, you would be able to get your non-refundable back, but it doesn't happen very often. So that's what a non-refundable deposit is. Earnest money is kind of like a holding check, if you will. So you actually write your earnest money check to the title company or to the brokerage if they have a fund for earnest monies. And then that check is actually held until closing. And then at closing, it's turned in as a credit to you as a buyer on your closing documentation. So it is a little bit confusing, but essentially the biggest difference in earnest money versus non-refundable deposit is that an earnest money check is written to the title company or the brokerage, and it's held and then given to you as a credit at closing. A non-refundable check is written directly to the sellers, and they cash it, and then at closing, you get a credit. If you don't close for any fault of yours, then those sellers will actually keep that money. So does that make sense?